Greetings, hi, TheWarOwl greets you, and today I'd like to introduce you to a hidden gem of a game that I think you're really gonna like, Savage Resurrection. This video is sponsored by S2 Games. S2 Games contacted me to do a promotion for their game, and after playing it with my friends for a bit, I agreed, because what I see here is a solid game with a competitive setup that doesn't have a player base, and that's something that we can change.
Solo!
Ah, shut up! At the tail end of the second golden age of gaming in 2003, Savage, The Battle for New Earth was released. It was a game that combined the real-time strategy genre with first-person shooter mechanics, and it grew into a cult classic, often touted as well ahead of its time. Well, it's 2016 and they're bringing back Savage, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, and it's just come out of early access, released on August 18th. Available on the Steam store now, don't delay. From now to August 25th, you can purchase Savage for 25% off, just $14.99. That's less than I wasted on the last unbox of Fragathon. The resurrection of Savage is much in the same sense as Dota 2, where a beloved franchise of the Golden Age is brought back to life with modern graphics and interfaces. And I have to say, the game looks stunning on the Unreal 4 engine, and it runs smoothly, considering 32 players are all battling across one giant map. So what is Savage, and how do you get good? How do you own dem noobs? When launching the game for the first time, it can be daunting. There's a lot to learn, so let me save you some time. The game is an RTS FPS, my two favorite game genres. You can play as one of the two warring factions, the Beasts or the Humans, both with their unique classes, weapons, and items. One player from each team plays as the commander, taking on the RTS role of the game. They're the brains of the operation. They play from a top-down view, similar to what you'd expect from a game like StarCraft. They decide where to place buildings, what tech items to research, and can give orders to their units. The difference is, the rest of the players play as the units. You can pretty much do anything you want as a unit, but it's best to listen to the commander. In fact, listen to the commander. Don't be that guy. You know that guy, Mr. I'm gonna go do my own thing. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad. The goal of the game is to destroy the other team's main building, the same goal of every RTS game dating back to chess. Each team has a tech tree to climb, and a lot of strategy in the game is deciding early on which way to go. For example, the current meta for the humans is to tech up to tier 2 as fast as possible in order to get savages and repeaters, which will give the humans a good early game advantage in the skirmishes. Beasts, on the other hand, have very strong towers, which prevent any sort of harassment early on if placed properly. They seem to focus more on harassing early game right now, where humans tend to tech up to the point where they can take down those buildings, either with boom buggies or chemical weapons. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. How exactly does being a unit work? Unlike traditional RTS games where you decide what unit to build, upon spawning or entering a main building, players will get this fancy screen, which allows them to decide what class to spawn as, with what weapons, and with what item. Each of these has a cost associated with it, and each player has an individual pot of gold. So just like Counter-Strike, you're bravely fighting for your country, but you're forced to buy your own guns. You get gold by doing things. Killing enemy players, killing mobs, doing building damage, building or repairing friendly buildings, and the way you do things is by left-clicking. You attack to mine, you attack to build, you attack to repair, and you attack to attack. This is something I really like about the game. It does not overcomplicate this aspect of it to go for realism. How you do anything is you left-click it. It's straightforward video game logic that just works in this setting. When you're playing a shooter, how are you gonna do the thing? You shoot it. Each player also has his own experience system and levels up, getting rewards at each level such as mines faster or has more health. Just like in a MOBA, which S2 Games has experience with Heroes of New Earth, sometimes this can get out of hand, as a player will level up very quickly and can be very difficult to stop, sort of a carry player.
Aw.
This guy.
Fine enough.
Look at this, there's no way to kill this guy, he's freaking invincible. And he'll hit you, one hit you too. He's level 10 right now and I'm level 6.
I'm coming in for the west, so watch out.
Alright, we can take base now.
Just keep harassing them, I'm coming in. Just just takes a long time. This thing is so slow.
Oh,
Someone
what?
crowd
Oh, is that guy?
with
This
a
guy.
star
I
20.
hate that. That's something I really don't like about the game. That somebody can get so leveled up that there's nothing you can do about him, you know? If you want, you can spend your time mining resources, building buildings, and defending the base. Or you could go on a secret strike force to harass the enemy workers, scout positions, or engage in massive battles. I am a Dark Templar, baby. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. This is so scary, dude. What if they find me? What if they find me? Oh, they found me, dude. I'll kill as many as I can before I go. Oh. You are but one cog in a bigger machine. And as I stated before in a video I forgot, but I know I made this point, that's the kind of game I really enjoy. It's a true team-based game, where you have to work together to succeed. There's also a lot of nuance to this game, and this comes in how you set up your class. You can get a lot of different types of equipment, such as health packs and ammo packs for the humans, or stamina boosters and deadly mines for the beasts. The beasts, in true bad guy fashion, can actually become suicide bombers, spending gold to purchase an item which causes them to violently explode after 10 seconds. I've used this to take out entire groups of workers mining resources. Terrible, terrible damage. I finally got to live out my fantasy of role-playing as a baneling. Eventually, if you reach the top of the tech trees before one side gets a major advantage or outright wins, we get into the siege part of the game, the top tech level. Kongs for humans, which are these things, and behemoths for the beasts, giant tree-wielding monsters. The end game, if it's reached, is really exciting. It involves massive battles across the map and not just death balls like modern RTS games, because each unit in this game has a mind of its own, literally, and the battles are truly nuanced because of this. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the shooting mechanics. Melee is done through the third-person perspective, where ranged weapons are done through the first-person perspective. The third and first-person perspectives are seamless. This is how you should create a game that uses both melee and FPS mechanics. To balance both sides and make melee combat interesting, the humans have a block, which stuns the beasts if they attack against it, and the beasts have a leap, which allows them to be more mobile, avoid hits, and to get the drop on their opponents. At the start of the tech tree, the humans start with bows, which have time travel mechanics, draw time mechanics, and are truly nuanced in their own right, where the beasts just start with melee. Now, you may think this is unfair to the beasts to start off, but their melee and movement is powerful, and eventually when they get the stamina necklaces and the different upgrades, it becomes very difficult to hit them. As we go up the tech tree, we get all kinds of stuff. Healing classes for both teams, lightning zappy guns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, flamethrowers, this. These purple guys are long-range damage dealers, sort of the equivalent of the boom buggies. Very easy to kill, but able to dish out tons of damage against buildings. Players will work together to escort such units into range of enemy buildings. The combat in the game is skill-based. Better players will win. It doesn't hold your hand. Because of this comes the inevitable question, the potential of this game as a competitive game or as an esport. It seems like we're asking this question for every PC game that comes out that requires players to actually think and be good. I have no doubt that S2 Games wants this title to be an esport, but does the game deserve it? In my opinion, this comes down to the community. Do players want to play this game competitively? If so, a community will naturally emerge. The most successful esports titles were not intended to be esports titles. The community decided they liked the game enough to invest that much time into it and to play it competitively. And as such, the developers, seeing an opportunity, decided to design the game more toward the competitive side of things. The difference between an esport and a competitive game is it fun to watch? Can you see the skill? Can you see the strategy? By being both an FPS and RTS game with a wide open map, this is definitely a spectator-friendly game. Spectating battles feels very cinematic, and with proper views set up for spectating, I think the game has potential in this respect. Thank you folks very much for watching. If you're interested in the title at all, I think it's worth a shot. I get contacted by a lot of developers to promote crappy games. I'm very selective about the sort of things that I'll actually promote, and this is a game that I actually enjoyed personally. It has that competitive side to it. FPS, RTS, those two genres are my favorite, and I actually really like the different titles that combine them. So, Game has a lot of promise. It has a very small player base, though, and one of the things they could work on going forward is the balance, but that's something that can get sort of fixed over time as more people play it and find all the cheese. There's a big cheese hunt right now, so if you want to get in on the cheese hunt on the ground floor, now is the time. Thank you folks very much for watching, and a special thanks to S2 Games for sponsoring this video. Have a lovely evening. I am TheWarOwl, and I still have no closer. Oh boy, I'm gonna open the case. I'm gonna do it. Oh, here it goes. I'm so excited. What am I gonna get? I got pants! I got